Hey, very good evening. Charles here of FRGNT Daily Chart Analysis, 14th of November 2025, just past 20 minutes past 9 in the evening in Milan, 20 past 8 UK. We've just finished journaling ASR, and we have now stumbled across the Euro US dollar trade that was taken in line with the FRGNT Daily Chart Analysis this afternoon. So I figured, why not digitally journal that trade and post it for those of you that like to watch and review. So in line with FRGNT Daily Chart Analysis this morning, we'll call that roughly 14 hours ago, as you can see there, bottom left hand corner, we did forecast price to continue pushing a little bit more bullish inside of that daily order block that was printed a couple of weeks ago. In line with that, we had previously mitigated a 15-minute order block that was tapped yesterday in the evening and gave us that reaction to start the potential break of structure and potential downtrend that we now could look to observe. However, also just up at the highs, most importantly, we had the previous daily highs that I really honestly was looking for price to push up into it. However, as I mentioned on the video, posted that if that certainly wasn't the case and we had a reaction beforehand, then if I jump back to that, a snap of that area, be looking for the pullback into an imbalance left behind, and then I absolutely would be taking that position. So let's have a look and see what occurred. So live data, as you can see, market is still currently open. We had that snap from the area that we were looking to achieve of this structure point. That was completed in London, and then we see price come back into an area of imbalance. However, as you can see, looking left, there was no order block available for me to take on that 15-minute time frame. Therefore, what I did initially was jump down to the 1-minute time frame to see what I could identify in and around the area. And as I scroll myself backwards, you'll see this yellow line, a very slight 1-minute order block was sat right there. So that got me interested initially. What I also did was have a look on the 5-minute to see, well, if I took that trade from the 1-minute, is there anything else that I should be safeguarding myself against? And of course there was. There was a 5-minute order block left right there at the highs. Again, you can see that highlighted in yellow for my lower time frame order block illustration. So with that said, the trade was indeed taken as a sell limit from the 1-minute order block, ensuring that I could cover as much of the highs as possible without reducing dramatically my risk to reward ratio. And of course, Euro USD, Pound USD, I'm limiting myself to roughly 10 to 15 pips maximum in terms of stop loss placement. If that does not align, the trade is usually more often than not missed and skipped due to my analysis of the pip movement range for those pairs. So without further ado, I'll drop us back down, or back up rather, to that 15-minute time frame where you can see my sell limit was executed in line with that initial 1-minute order block that was identified after the push, after that snap, pull back to retest an area of imbalance, and of course, as you'll see, instantly into drawdown. However, as again you will see, there was no alert set there. This was a trade, the only trade that I was really going to take following my long position on GU. That was locked off already at break even with partial profits removed from the market. If we take a quick look at that as well to see how that played out eventually. And there it was again, snap, retest, pull back into an area of imbalance, and that was taken. And I took 2.5% out of that position. However, that's too much information for you guys at once. So back to Euro US dollar. Once price had pushed off from this area, as soon as it got to 1.5% into profit, I locked it off at break even. Job done for the day. As you can see, price did indeed test that 5-minute order block just left up at the highs. So of course, in terms of my ASR and journaling, trust the analysis. You want to be selling at the absolute highs. If it does not come back, miss the trade. However, due to being able to cover those highs, that the only highs that really I was afraid of in terms of price since the snap had occurred, potentially grab that liquidity sat there up at that 5-minute order block. I was more than happy to take that position with the 10 pip stop loss, or 9.5 pip stop loss to be precise. 10 went into the lot size positioning, and as I said, after 1.5% into profit, that was locked off at break even. I let the rest do exactly what it needs to do, expecting a slight reaction from that daily 50 MA. It never came, and of course all the way down to that structure point where I forecasted a potential turnaround in price. So I hope that made a lot of sense for you guys. I do appreciate all the support across the channels in terms of FRGNT daily chart analysis across Telegram, YouTube, TradingView, Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc. Hope these videos are of hand to you, and I certainly enjoy creating them. Thank you very much for your attention. All the very best. Good evening to you all. Charles, FRGNT daily chart analysis. Take care.